Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video I'll be going over how Saber's been absolutely tearing up the NA solo queue ladder with a 70% win rate. I'll be going over what he's doing in his games to achieve this insane win rate. So if you like the sound of that, please stick around for this video because you don't want to miss this one. And also please drop me a like and a sub if you want more of this content, as Saber is waiting for lane to start here. So first thing I want to talk about, when you're in Champion Select and you're loading into the game, you need to think matchup. You need to think, how can I win this lane, and how can the enemy win the lane? In asking yourself these two questions, you need to know what the champions do first of all. In the case of playing against the Nautilus, you can identify that for him to win the lane for his ADC, he needs to hit his hooks. So once we identify that, we can play to actually avoid it. So we can make sure that we're always behind minions, so he can't hook us. We can tether his hook range when we don't have any minions, and we can give up CS if it means avoiding death. Basically, you just need to respect the hook in certain situations, unless your matchup can actually counter it. So thinking in this way, you'll be able to avoid losing your lane, but that's not going to be enough if you want to climb past like Platinum. So you'll need to actually play to win your lane once you know how to play safe. So you might be wondering how you can do this. You'll need to identify, first of all, your strengths as a bot lane, and you need to actually play to your strengths. So you're going to have to find opportunities to play to your strengths so you can get ahead, win your lane in every game you play. I'm just going to pause it here because I want to apply the stop process to this game right here that Saber's playing. So we need to think, how can we avoid losing this lane? We're playing Caitlyn, Lulu versus Jhin and Zilean. So I think it's quite obvious that you just need to avoid getting hit by the Zilean bombs and the Jhin Qs, because like they can't really do much else. So let's think about how we can win this lane now. You can pause the video here if you want to think about it, and you can see and compare what I came up with in the video if you wish. So we know we need to identify our strengths, and our biggest one is that Caitlyn has long range, as I'm sure you're aware. Knowing that we have long range, we can identify that we have a range advantage over the enemy Jhin. So we can actually play to auto him when he's last hitting a minion, and we can play to auto space him as well with a range advantage. So we need to actively look for opportunities where we can auto him like this, and another one would be when he's reloading because he only has 4 shots. Let's consider Lulu. We know that she's good at poking, but more importantly, she has a shield. So we can use this to our advantage by looking for aggressive trades where you find a free auto and then you look for more with the Lulu shield because it will block their damage. So we have a rough idea of how to play the lane, how we can win it. Now we actually need to do it. And just keep in mind that it's not as simple as let's just attack Jhin every single time he last hits, because you still need to factor in the enemy support, which is the Zilean. He won't let you just do that for free over and over, like constantly. So you also need to farm your minions as well. So this isn't a fully fleshed out analysis of the two questions of how I can win this lane and how can the enemy win this lane, but hopefully you get the idea. So let's actually get into the gameplay here. So you can see Saber's here attacking the minions non-stop. He got to lane without leash, so he can play aggressively. We know that our jungler starting top, he's going to path to us, so we can play very far up. We'll have him hovering around. If a Rek'Sai comes to gank, our Riven can come to counter gank. See, he's attacking these minions repeatedly, off like his auto cooldown non-stop. I just want to bring attention to how he has been actually autoing them. He's not just standing in one place. He's not winding up the animation that's on cooldown. You know, he has mechanics. He has the timing down of this, and being able to move like this, it makes it easier to dodge bombs like this one that you can see right here. And he's constantly looking for auto attacks when Jin's autoing the wave. Zilean moved up for a bomb. We came up. We punished him for that. We gave him an auto. And I just want to point out one thing in specific that that I noticed. I just want you to see this here very clearly. 142 here. just look at how he's positioning, how he's trying to get up and like find these guys in a line like this. This is because if Zillion's out of range of hitting him and Jhin goes for an auto, he can hit the Jhin and Zillion can't respond. This is very important when you're playing ADC. So let's just continue again. Also, with the Jhin having the 4th shot, you definitely don't want to trade autos with him. You just walk back until he uses it, really. And since the Zillion missed his bomb level 1, this is basically your cue to walk up and do some damage to him. Because all he has is an auto attack, and if you have a Q, you can throw it at there as well. So you can see he's very aggressive in this lane. And he's putting on the pressure. If we get hit by a bomb, it's okay because Lulu can shield us. Look at that, level 2. We're playing up so far, so aggressive. We really want to take advantage of our level 2. He's ripe and ready to go in and get a trade. And look, he does exactly just that right here. He finds even more damage onto them. And he's constantly looking for Jhin to auto and for him to auto him. Auto space him. And here we can see this Lulu, just watch, she messes up here, she's greeting not to walk through the bomb and take damage. She ends up getting rooted here. She's gonna have to flash away in a second, just watch. This Zillion just flash and ignited, he engaged in, he's looking for a kill. If we freeze frame this and take a look at this Jin's health bar, we have our sums up, Lulu has exhaust, we can probably turn this around. You need to identify this in your games. Okay, so let's watch what happens. Go for whoever's in front, the Zillion. He gets exhausted. He nets into them to stay in range. Q, he has no flash, no ignite, he has no escape. It's just a free kill. You identify this, you take the free kill, and you walk away, unless you think you can continue and get another one. You see, like this is a big difference that you'd see between your own gameplay and Saber's gameplay. And I just want to mention also, the reason he could actually do this is because of all the auto attacks he's been pumping into the enemy. They didn't have low health just because. It's because he's actually been pumping them with these auto attacks non-stop. And this is purely champion mastery and understanding the matchup at play here. And it's exactly why you want to be one-tricking a champion, because you won't have different abilities to think about, different ranges. You know, you'll just be playing the same champion, and you'll be able to apply their strengths and weaknesses into every game effectively, because you'll understand them well. Anyway, we just got a kill. We want to get this Waven and spend the gold that we just made, or we want to look to help out Riven on the scuttle there, as you can see on the map. Here we opt for the base because they're looking for a gank. We want to spend the gold that we just made. It's a good time. The wave's in. We'll come back. It'll be neutral coming back into us. This is a really good recall. And the Riven still has prio from TF. They just killed the Ahri for the scuttle. So us playing like this and having this lead in bot lane, the enemy bot lane can't really respond. Our Riven got the scuttle, and now she can get a double scuttle. And this is huge for the game, because double scuttle on jungle is an insane lead, and this is allowed to happen because of how Saber's been playing the lane. If he was here and it was the other way around, enemy bot lane would respond, and your bot lane probably gets double killed. It's a huge difference here. And just while he's farming here under tower, I just want to say, if you want to have impact in your games, you really need to get good at the first 5 minutes of the game, because this is where you can really create a role diff, create an ADC gap, because the early game is so fragile and every little thing counts. You know, this is where the Leona 1v1s you level 2, or where Janna pokes you to like 30% HP, so you can't lane anymore, and then you fall behind and become impactless in your games. So if you want to have agency, you need to do this. You need to apply pressure on the enemy, play to get a HP lead, turn that into kills, play for lane priority if your jungler's pathing to you. You know, you need to do something. You can't just AFK farm. But of course, in some lanes you can't do that realistically. just because of the matchup, and you need to understand that in those lanes, if it's just auto loss, you need to stay healthy and have good CS. So you pretty much just play safe, look to scale, and hope that your team can carry you if you don't feed the enemy lane. But of course, if you're not playing in like Challenger, mistakes run rampant in games. So even in losing matchups, it's not too difficult to actually win those lanes. There's just the theory aspect of the game. But anyway, we're back into lane here now with Saber, and we can see how Saber and Lulu are running straight at the Zilean. This is because the Zilean and the Jhin had a split base, and Jhin's still running back to lane. So we want to get into the Zilean's face and damage him. Get our HP lead that we can turn into a kill. And also we want to deny him XP from minions that are dying here in the lane. So just notice this pressure that he's applying, and notice how now he's stopped attacking these minions. He's realized this, and he just wants to keep it here. He wants to only last hit the minions because he wants to deny this gold and XP, not only to Zilean, but more importantly the Jhin, because you want to get a gold advantage over the enemy that you're playing against. But also, just notice how he was positioned here while the Zilean was there. Lulu was standing. Let me show you here. Look how aggressive this Lulu was here. Saber wasn't all the way up here with the Lulu. This is because he still wants to be in range to get his minions. Just take note of that. He wants to provide zone pressure while also still getting his minions. And you know, this small stuff, it happens so quickly, and this kind of stuff really adds up in games. And you know, if you review your games and can't understand why you're not climbing, why you're losing, this is probably like the issue. You're not noticing these small things. So anyway, now that Jhin is back into the lane, there's a 2v2. You see how he walks back? He respects the 2v2. He's gonna play just like he was playing before now, standard. You know, this guy goes for an auto. We look for the auto. You see that? We probably have our auto attack range indicator on, and you know we constantly look for damage, and we have a wave here to play with as well if they walk into us. If they step too far. So, you know, this kind of stuff is precisely why he's getting 70% win rate in Challenger. You want to be abusing their weaknesses, you know, the range disadvantage, and avoid their strengths, you know, Zilean Bomb, Jhin Q, and so on. Just get the wave in, you know, pretty standard stuff. Look for autos. He might have found one there, but just didn't react to it on time. It's like a split second kind of thing. Look to auto the tower if we're allowed. Lulu's poking, you know, this is exactly what we want to be doing. We see Rek'Sai mid. There's nothing to be afraid of here. We just shove these guys in, use our range advantage, poke them, and the reason we're allowed to do this is because we have our jungler right here, and we saw that Rek'Sai was mid. And if Rek'Sai comes, like, also notice how Ahri just went missing. Rek'Sai was just mid, and just went missing as well. They could be coming for a gank bot lane. Look how passively he's playing now. He's behind his minions while the whole time he was playing in line or like in front of his minions. You want to make sure that you applying pressure doesn't mean that you're dying to ganks over and over, because that's really how you can throw leads in games and everything. And we can see the Rek'Sai's here. We can look like we can probably assume that Ahri's roaming down bot lane as well because she was missing. She has a level lead over the TF. But one thing we can do here is just try to keep the Rek'Sai around. You know, balance aggression and safety. You want to be in a position where you can bait the Rek'Sai, but also just not die if she commits to a gank. And also we can look for a bait here because we have Riven. TF should probably hit 6 soon and have his ulti and can react. So we could look for a bait once the TF hits level 6. You know, you can't always go. You need to understand that balance of playing safe and backing off. You know, this is like one of the most impactful things you can do as ADC. Baiting the enemy jungler and not dying. So here we go, fight breaks out. We got slowed by the Zilean. We didn't really respect him enough. So we try our best to survive, and exactly here we go. Ahri, Rek'Sai, and we're in a bad spot. We're really out of position. Here comes the GP ulti. We flash out, expecting the charm or the Rek'Sai flash. We die, that's unfortunate. There wasn't much we could do other than, you know, not get slowed by the Zillion, but, you know, we'll come back and we'll keep playing the same lane. Holy moly, that Riven jump was huge. They just turned the fight completely with that. Here comes GP, probably kill them all. Seems like a high action game, especially with all this trading and poking in lane, and everyone on the map is bot lane, TP from top, ult from top, everyone flashing in. You know, this is how they play in high elo. If something's going on, everyone's there. If there's an invade on your wolves, everyone's there, you know? Anyway, here he comes back to lane. I just want to mention as well, look at his CS. He has pretty much 50 at 7 minutes, which is quite good. Despite, you know, he just died here. He just leaked some minions. He's been really putting on the pressure, auto attacking the Jhin, the Zillion in the lane. They had a fight, you know, and his CS is still good. It's the #1 priority, you know. But it's not enough anymore. Once you're diamond, you need to be applying pressure and playing to win lane. If you want to be winning games consistently, like Saber is here, 70% win rate in Challenger. Also, I just want to mention, you notice how he's playing really safe here? The map is fully dark. You know, we could be afraid that Rek'Sai might be coming for round 2, but also we don't have our support here. We don't want to be fighting a 1v2 even if we've been winning lane and putting up pressure on. You know, we need to play with their support. If she would have gone for a roam here, our job is to stay alive, stay healthy, you know, keep up the farm. Just don't die. But look, as soon as she's back in lane, he runs straight in to look for poke. And he can get away with trading auto for auto now as well, because look at this. Jhin has a longsword, 10 AD, and boots, and he has pickaxe, 25 AD, 10 AD longsword, 10 AD longsword. He has a 35 attack damage lead over this Jhin. Trading 1-for-1 on autos, he's happy all day now. You want to be abusing every little lead you can find. And here we go, continue with the shoving. We have a ward here, so we're not too afraid of the Rek'Sai. We wouldn't expect her to just be sitting around here all game. And also with jungle tracking, we'd probably know where the Rek'Sai is actually on the map, because she wouldn't have camps to farm on one side usually. But that's another separate video. But Riven should be providing jungle tracking information, but it's too much to actually to talk about all at once, because so much happens so quickly in this game that you wouldn't even notice without me going back and pausing. And here we see he's going for a roam to the mid lane. It could be because we know Rek'Sai's bot lane, and we're afraid of a gank happening. You know, the Zillion has flash, he can slow us, double bomb, stunned. You know, Rek'Sai follows up with her tunnel. That could be one reason why we're going for this kind of roam. But also because, you know, our jungle and mid are making a play, and if the Rek'Sai came to counter gank, well, look at that. We have a bot diff, and it's a 4v2, and we just win that, right? So here they're going for the play. Nothing really happens. If they were fighting here, unless the Rek'Sai showed up, I just want to say that they wouldn't keep going for this play. You know, Saber here just wants to stick around like the halfway point, so he's not leaking his minions in the lane. Because, you know, he can ulti this with Caitlyn, and then get back to lane. You know, unless the Rek'Sai ganks here, even if the Ahri was like, you know, playing far up and there was actually a gank from, like, you know, he could actually gank as Saber, you know, you don't want to go for that, because you're going to lose these minions and you'll probably lose a play. It's just not worth it. So back to lane we go. Also, there were some pings here. You know, they might have been expecting a Rek'Sai invade, but looks like a fight may be breaking out as well. The Rek'Sai's shown up. And this is why, you know, if this is happening earlier and we're in position to react, this is why we go for the roam. So here we go. You know, actions happening. We cleared that wave. Something's happening. We need to have a look. We need to have a look. What's going on? Is this a winning 2v2? Yes, it is. We want to join. And notice how the enemy bot lane's walking this way. They are literally not allowed to walk through the river because, you know, we have the lead. Our mid lane has the lead. You know, we have the first move in the mid and jungle department. And, you know, if they walk through the river, they're just going to get pinched and they'll die. And even if they don't get pinched and it's a 2v2, we're going to win that because we have a level lead. We have 35 AD lead on Jhin, you know. We've got the lead. So here he goes for the ulti. You know, he's still moving to the fight. At this stage, he thinks, okay, we can't really chase this anymore. You know, he doesn't overplay the play. So just look at him. He's going back to lane, okay? But look at this. His team's still chasing. He notices this. He ditches the wave and he starts moving again. Because, you know, we know the Jhin and the Zilean are walking here. If a 3v3 breaks out, we want to be there to make it a 4v3, especially as, you know, the fed ADC player. Okay? And, you know, it's like our team doesn't understand when to back off. You know, we just have to be there with them. But you see this, as soon as they start backing off, we're going back to lane to our minions. You know, like this is over. Like, just stop. You know, like get the wave, get the minions, shove it in, apply pressure, look for plates, do something else. He doesn't overchase it. Anyway, we know that Ahri's dead. We just killed Ahri. Rek'Sai was low. We were chasing and we saw the health bar. The dragon is super free right now. For any junglers, if you're watching this, this is when you want to be taking dragons. You don't really want to be cheesing them. You know, they don't really provide much value early on. But you see Saber, you know, he can go rotate and just take this for free. He got his wave and he can go rotate and take this for free. But, you know, this is so free to the point that he doesn't even need to go help. He'd rather stay in lane and, you know, catch these minions instead of leaking like 1 or 2 minions dying to these minions here. I just want to ask you to leave a comment if you can feel how intense this level of detail can be in watching a VOD, and if you've learned anything so far. You know, if you've ever watched other coaching or like improvement content, you've probably heard people preach quality over quantity of games, and you know, this is precisely the reason why. You know, our brains can't handle long periods of high focus and concentration. You know, you have to really look to see this kind of stuff in game. You know, some research like even says that we can only manage 90 minutes at a time of high focus and concentration before we need a 15-minute break. But yeah, here we go. So he shoves the wave in. He's looking for Qs. Looking for pressure on the map. Just while we're in this downtime, I just want to point out, you can think about wave management by lining up your minions. You know, if they're coming out of base here on the map, then you'll know that they're coming out of base here on the enemy side as well. That's one thing that can help out with wave management. Just like a fun tip while we're in lane. You see how safe he's playing here again? I'm not sure if you caught this here. Just saw a blue orb. That's definitely Rek'Sai because it's the only person missing from the map. So we're playing quite safe. And you can see just from how aggressively the Zilean's posturing, he really wants to look for bombs and look for something. This Jhin going for something like that, you know, it's a little spooky. And also just a few seconds before, I think we saw the Rek'Sai recalling here. Yeah, the Rek'Sai is recalling here and walks into the Fog of War. Yeah, just want to point that out. This is why we're playing safe. You need to pick up on this stuff in your own games. He's not up far in his minions applying pressure. He understands when it's time to chill, when it's time to back off. Playing safe. That's the key difference. So this ulti right here, chunks Zilean. You can see mana's low, we have a lot of gold, we want a base. The reason behind this is probably to deter a potential Rek'Sai gank. You know, if these guys are low, it's a little bit harder for them to go and start a fight and make a gank. You know, he has 1.3k gold, he wants to get to base and he wants to spend it. He wants to push his advantage, so he plays to shove this wave in here as hard as possible. You know, he wants to get this in so he's not losing minions by recalling. And he's also trying to force them back to base with that ulti there. You know, you might think, let me just show you the wave here. You might think, didn't Saber just misplay this hugely? You know, they can just easily freeze this wave, you know, and then, you know, they're screwed if Rek'Sai's around here by the time they come back to lane, or whatever, you know. Or they're gonna lose so much gold in XP. But the problem with that there is, if these guys try to freeze, you know, look at this health and mana. If Saber goes back to base, gets his 1.5k gold buy into the game, he comes back to lane, he'll push these guys out of lane so easily. You know, this would be like a colossal screw up by the enemy bot lane if they try to freeze this, because they're stuck here, low HP, low mana. They'll get pushed out of lane easily when Saber comes back, and because of that, he'll probably get 3 plates, if not the whole tower. You know, by the time the enemy bot lane gets back to lane. So just wanted to point that out.
What's happening?
So back to lane, I'll speed this up. So you know, he lost 3 minions here, but you know, he could have lost 5 if he didn't shove the wave in first. We saw Rek'Sai top there just now. We just want to get this wave and try to have some minions denied to the tower and look for plates. Nothing too exciting. You know, there's nothing that can happen to us. We can play, you know, as far up as we want. Rek'Sai was top, and also we want to have you know, put down vision. You see the plate, we get the plate. Now we want to put down vision, so when Rek'Sai's back to bot lane, if Rek'Sai comes for a gank, then it just won't work because we'll see it coming. And here comes Rek'Sai for a gank. Let's see what happens here. You know, we want to stay alive. Try turn it if we can. GP ulti. Everyone wants us here. Rek'Sai's in. Dive. Okay. I'm not gonna go like too depth into the fight here. But just, you know, if Rek'Sai is stuck on, you know, CC, if she's reviving here, you obviously want to do the obvious play and place a trap here. And just look at this. Huge Q headshot damage. Look at that. Just look at that. Absolutely insane. And I really want to point out how the reason he went for this angle on Q, you know, is because he wants to hit these 2 guys in a line, this Rek'Sai and Zilean, with the Q, instead of just, you know, walk back to my tower, Q auto this guy, and like we took the 1 kill and we play safe. I just wanted to point that out. 2 kills, really nice. We die, we're gonna lose this wave. You know, maybe you can, you know, you might think, you know, oh, this was a misplay by Saber here, but you know, the thought process here was him being like so confident for this lineup. You know, he's probably thinking he can do a 3-for-0 trade. But you know, obviously it didn't work out that way. You know, the thought process was good, just it wasn't the ideal result. But it's you know, it still works out. We got 2 kills for 1. You know, Saber died 2 for 1. So like it's extremely worth, you know, considering that they just turned a gank around. And like it wasn't even like a 2v3, it was literally like a 2v4 because, you know, the Rek'Sai revived. You know, we had to put out more damage onto that champion to kill it. So, you know, this is like, it has a huge impact on the game because, you know, we just made a really worth trade. But also, you know, if Riven's in a position to, you know, look for a dive or go counter jungle, this informs her that, you know, there's no risk to the play. You know, it's not coin flip. Rek'Sai won't be around, and it also informs your other lanes if they can play aggressive or not. You know, so he dies 2 for 1, not bad. Has high impact on the game, And here we go, respawn. And just look at this huge gold lead he has over this Jhin now. You know, 1.3k gold at 12 minutes. It's phenomenal. And we can see that TF is pushing out our bot lane, so, you know, we go and catch the mid wave, obviously here. You need to, you know, make sure you're not autopilot in your games and see this happening. So, nothing too exciting. Push the wave. We stay for another. TF was still there. He might be thinking he wants to push it out or whatnot, but yeah, we just push this in. And just watch what Saber does next. So if you pause it here, you might think, you know, the correct play is let's go back to bot lane, right? Let's just watch what he's doing. He's here for the play. Why doesn't he just rotate down to bot lane? Might you wonder. The reason is because by the time he actually gets over to bot lane, you know, all the time it takes to walk down here, you know, he's gonna leak this. You know, if he just went bot lane after that first wave he took, you know, he wouldn't be in time to catch this. He's gonna leak minions here, and also the enemy bot lane's gonna get towers. So, you know, him being mid and taking plates here, taking that wave, he's basically trading plates and wave in different lanes. So, you know, you need to bring this thought process into your games of considering the outcomes of all the actions that you can make, and, you know, choosing the action with the best reward or the least loss if there's no winning action. So you need to bring this kind of thought process into your games. And here he goes for, like, you know, mechanical kind of stuff. Bait the Ahri with you know, standing under the tower with no minions, EQ, headshot auto, do some damage, potentially give TF a lead in his lane. But yeah, we just traded 2 for 2 towers and wave for wave. You know, we could have ran bot lane and, you know, didn't get this wave, and we still would have lost like the wave or the tower or like a one play or whatever. We just saw Rek'Sai here, you know, bringing attention to his huge gold lead again, that he has spent. Rek'Sai is very clearly like very behind in this game. You know, if you ever see the enemy jungle camping you, trying to catch you on a rotation, you need to go as safe as possible back to lane or wherever you're going. But just watch what happens. He's not afraid of this Rek'Sai because he's so far ahead. Like, he's a level up on the jungler playing duo, like, you know, 2 bot lane. You know, the XP is just it's just you know, you get less XP as with 2 people in the lane. And you see how he saves his. He doesn't go into the Rek'Sai straight away with Gale Force like, I'm gonna one shot this guy because I'm ahead. You know, like he's playing it slow. Now that his team's here, he like just. Did you see that damage, by the way, as well? It's so disgusting how big of a lead he has here. And here we go. Like we just you know, follow the fight. You know, if there's no more chase, we go back to our wave. Zillion's in revive. Just watch. You know, you obviously go for the obvious, you know, Caitlyn stuff. You know, trap him. And just look at the disrespect. He's literally playing with his food here, ulting the Zillion. Like, he's literally playing with them because of how big his lead is now, and it's only growing. You know, he's 1.6k gold ahead now, and so it's only gonna keep snowballing and growing and growing. And this is literally all because of the first like 5 minutes of gameplay. That's when you have the most agency. You know, we pushed the wave in here. There's no one around to do anything to us. We killed the Rek'Sai, Zillion, Jhin, you know, Ahri's like, what can anyone do to us? We just take the tower, you know? Like, absolutely disgusting how ahead Saber is here. And he's consistently doing this in his games because he understands his matchup, he understands how to play to win, and he does it. You know, it's really brutal for, you know, the enemy when they're this far behind, this early. Like it's not even 15 minutes into the game, you know. It's brutal, absolutely. Anyway, if you look at the replay toolbar here, you can see that this is pretty much over. You know, Saber played a phenomenal game here. You know, his laning gave him a huge lead, his team a lead as well, and it was such a big bot diff. You know, they FF 15. You know, they have no chance of winning this game. It wasn't just him that won. You know, everyone won, and a big part of that was because of the bot lane. You know, so, you know, this is what makes him win 70% of his games in Challenger. You know, while the majority of people are like struggling to even maintain a 50% win rate in gold, like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's going to be pretty much the end of this video. You know, if you like the style of commentary, please do let me know in the comment section so I can do it again. And, you know, let me know if there's anything I can improve on to make these videos more entertaining or informative for you guys. You know, I appreciate any feedback you can give me. It's like I'm only starting out on YouTube. You know, please do give me a like and a sub to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, you know, to motivate me to make more content for you guys. But yeah, anyway, day FF15, huge bot diff, you know. This was Prism. Thanks for watching.